All right, Coach, we'll let you go ahead and get started.
Well, I want to start out the first part of this with a non-football related situation. Just a very heavy heart for myself and a lot of our players and a lot of our coaches right now. A young man who was a student assistant with us in football passed away shortly before the game, unexpectedly, and just very tragic. And our thoughts and prayers are out to his family, Joe Backwell. And that was tough. I want to say thank you to all of our fans tonight because they were all in, and they came and they showed up and they did their job, and they were outstanding. And that's what makes Auburn great. Football part of it, it's very disappointing that played against our second top 10 team and had chances to win the game. We didn't finish, and it's disappointing. But our goal every week is to improve. I saw a lot of improvement in our football team tonight, in a lot of different ways. Give LSU a lot of credit. They're extremely talented, and extremely physical football team, and they're very good. So it was a hard-fought battle, and we didn't come out on the right end of that. That's very disappointing to me and everybody in the locker room. So we worked hard in preparation for the game, and I couldn't be more proud of the players and the preparation that they put into the game. We went into the game fully expecting to win, and it didn't happen. So we will go back to work, continue to try to stay on track to improvement. We have this week off, which we're going to be able to rest up a little bit. Just try to, again, get a lot of corrections made based on what we saw again tonight. Go back to work this week. But I'm very proud of the kids in the locker room. And they played very, very hard tonight, and they put it out there, and they were all in too. So that's where we're at. I'll open it up to some questions.
Gene, obviously there's no moral victories, but how big of a step do you feel the team took tonight with this game?
You know, I think that if you just look at the whole entire body of work and how hard they played, and you know, it was a field position game, which we knew going in that it was going to be, and we knew that it had to be. And you know, I mean, I think that it sums it up. I'm very proud of the effort they gave, the improvement they made. I love the kids in the locker room. That's the bottom line. And they block out all the distractions, and they really try to work. I told you that this week. We had 2 really, really good days of practice, and I felt really, really good going into the game. And but we didn't finish. And there will be a day when we will. And we're going to continue to grind and work until we can.
Gene, talk about Jonathan Wallace playing tonight.
Well, Jonathan has really made a pretty consistent track in terms of improvement out of practice. And we like him. We like his poise. He's an extremely intelligent young man when it comes to the game of football. He was very successful in high school with his team, and he earned the right to play. That's about as simple as I can put it. And he'll continue to earn the right to play some more. He did some things tonight. It's tough getting in there for the first time in a game like this one and being productive. I'm sure there's some things, obviously, that we'll look at tomorrow that he can certainly improve on. But we figured that tonight was a good time for a start with him. And so I was very proud of him. He secured the ball. He made some tough yards when we needed him to, which was exciting to see. And we'll continue to work him.
At the end of the third quarter, and he went in there, did it seem like the run defense opened up just a little bit when Ontario and Trey were able to find some running room?
Well, I think so. I mean, they're just, it was an extremely difficult defensive line to run the ball inside on. We knew that going in. Very few people have been able to do that. So, we felt like we had a good plan going in with some perimeter run, mixing up some of the inside runs as well. We can't totally get away from that. And at some points in there, a couple of things, opened up for us. And you know, again, we want to keep the game close, in field position, and try to run the ball some, and, you know, hit the ball down the field a few times on some passes and keep the game close. So we were able to open up some of those running lanes there to help us do that.
The defense making some pretty big stops. Just talk about their heart and your defense strength.
Well, I think that, you know, I won't just say our defensive heart, you know, I'm going to say the heart of our football team, period. Special teams, offense, defense, but, you know, there was one point in there where, you know, third downs are a big deal for us, obviously, and they've been a little bit of point of contention for us in the first few games. I think in one stretch in there, they had quite a few third down stops in a row. We were starting to gain a little confidence, and that was really, really good to see. You know, they hit that one on us at the end of the game, you know, the throwback off the boot there, and we missed the tackle, and, you know, that pretty much sealed the game, you know, for the most part, or at least, you know, got it down to the wire. And but again, I'm very proud that, you know, of our defensive strides that we've made. Do we have a long way to go? Absolutely.
You made some changes in the secondary, particularly with Chizik and Florence playing tonight. Can you discuss that and their performance?
Well, again, you know, some of those are tied into substitution packages. So, you know, if we feel like, again, when certain guys come into the game, particularly in the secondary, I think that's where you see it most often is, you know, if they have X amount of receivers in the game, then you bring X amount of DBs in the game. Tharizi's role was a little bit different when they brought in 2 tight ends tonight. He's a physical, you know, physical corner, and so we threw him in there, and you know, he played quite a bit, you know, in that role. So, you know, you'll see guys going in and out just depending on their roles, and so that's what you saw with those guys tonight, including Enrique.
When did Chizik become opportunities? I mean, you had a missed play on the first series, I think, a long pass play. They had McCaleb wide open on a pass play early fourth quarter. McCaleb on a kickoff return, maybe cuts the other way, he's gone. McCaleb, somebody grabbed him by the shirt and pulled him down on another breakaway. How much will that eat at you, those missed opportunities?
You know, it's obviously, you know, something that you hope that when guys have opportunities to make plays with receivers that are open or guys that are in the open field, and, you know, you see the right cut, you make the right cut. Obviously, you know, that's something that, you know, that we all you know, wish that they would see and do. But the reality of the game is it doesn't always work that way. But to say that it's going to eat at me, you can't pin one game down on, you know, this guy not doing this and this guy not doing that. I'm not doing that. That was a team loss. That eats at me. But not the play of one particular guy on one particular, you know, one play.
Gene, going back to Chizik, when did he become a DB again, and what went behind your decision on that?
Well, we still played him on both sides. You know, and again, when you have guys that, you know, have some limited roles on either side, and you can, you know, do just a few things with them, you know, then they can bounce back and forth in practice and get both of those done. So this week the role fit. We knew it was going to be a situation where they were going to come in with 2 tight ends and make it a very physical perimeter game as well as an inside game. He fit the bill.
On your next to last possession, it's 3rd down and 12. You ran a sort of a draw or whatever, handoff up the middle. What was your thinking on that play instead of passing?
The thinking was that we were playing really good on 3rd down, and the thinking was that there was, I remember correctly, I don't know, 4.5 minutes left in the game, and it was all about field position because we needed a field goal to win it. And our thought was to, you know, see if we could pop some type of inside run on them. They were dropping back into coverage that allowed us to do that, or at least gave us a shot to do it. What we didn't want to do was have any turnovers or anything that backed us up with any negative plays. So it was a field position game at that point. I said it before and I'll say it again, that if we have to put the game in the hands of our special teams, punting it and getting out and creating, you know, field position advantages, we will always do that. And then again, with our defense playing you know, well on 3rd downs, we thought that it would turn into a field position game, and that's what we did it.
Coach, you said that Jonathan Wallace has earned the right to play. Does that mean, and maybe play more, does that mean that you're going to
evaluate the quarterback position, or are you just trying to find a spark there, or?
Well, I just think there's some things that he did in high school that he's very efficient at. So some of the things that he did in high school is really, you know, it's kind of like what we did with Kyle last year. You know, you bring these guys along, you give them a small package. They do, you know, they grow in the offense in terms of what they can and can't handle. But he's very comfortable with that because he's done it a lot. So that's, I wouldn't read anything more into that. He's gotten better and he's improved in that part of the game.
Take a few more.
Gene, can you talk about Kyle's performance tonight?
You know, I think Kyle did some nice things tonight. You know, there's no question about that. You know, there's going to be some throws that, you know, that he wishes he could take back, and we do too. But overall, you know, I think that he did some, you know, he's improving. I mean, he's improving. And I think he's got to get back there and he's got to make decisions. He's got to get rid of that football. And especially when you're going against pass rushes like the one that we saw tonight and the ones that we're going to see a lot more of. But you know, again, he's on a journey, and that journey is going to include a lot of days where he's got to improve, and I think that's got to continue to be the case.
Can you talk about the decision for Scott to coach from the field today? It's kind of the dynamic of that.
Well, going into the game, you know, we just felt like, you know, this type of game, it'd be good to have him down there so that we could, you know, certainly be there with Kyle, look him in the eye, being able to go over what just happened and be one step ahead down there with him on the bench with what was going to happen next. And that combined with Jonathan Wallace being part of the game plan, we thought that that was the right thing to do.
Did Corey really respond tonight in the first half with his playmaking ability and really set the tempo for your whole defense? Lemonier?
You know, I think that I think he did some nice things. I think he really played hard. I think that was really, really good to see. And he's going to have to continue to be, you know, a guy that steps up and can elevate, you know, can elevate the game of not just him, but, you know, that's got to, you know, permeate through the rest of the defense. And so, you know, he made some things happen early, and you know, I think the quarterback felt some pressure from him early, and that's, you know, that's the idea. It doesn't always have to be a sack, you know. So we'll look at the film tomorrow and really look and see exactly how well he played, but I know he played hard.
How far down were you going to have to
Last
go on
question.
that final possession to put Parkey out there? What was your target?
Well, our target is, you know, he can make them from 50, but we feel really good hitting right around the 23-yard line. If we can get that thing from the 40 in, we feel like it's pretty much, you know, it's in our favor.
All right, Coach.